Season 3, do you know what I mean? Season 3, do you know what I mean? Let me hear it. Season 3, do you know what I mean? Anime Legend Season 3, AfroX hit it for all you legendary folks. Listen up, it's a brand new season and we about to erupt. You ain't ready for what's coming, it's about to get tough. I'm the Prince of all Saiyans and I'm more than enough. Welcome back, legends, all the haters, the captain. I'm not gonna let you lay a single hand on my captain. Anime fan, got my plan in the can as I summon my stand and the camera pan to my face in this place as I stare into space. I'm a legend at base and I never show grace in my flow, toe to toe. It's that dude from Naruto, about to blow. Here we go, Season 3, start the show! Hello, everybody. My name is AfroX. I'm the anime guide, here to guide the new into some of the old and the old into some of the new. If you weren't aware, which you probably are, you are watching the AfroX channel right now. Your number one location for anime, music, and memes. But all of it, pertaining to anime. Welcome everybody. So, today we are going to be brainstorming. We're going to be talking, we're going to be doing a back and forth. Hopefully we get some people in the chat here. But we're gonna be just kind of diving in and figuring out what the D in people's names in One Piece means, because I would like to be the very first channel to figure it out. And when we get to the end of the One Piece story, I would like to be the channel that was proven right, or shown to at least have gotten to the answer first. So that's what we're gonna go over. Let me take off my headphones here really quick. There we go. All right. So, first off, I'm gonna do some of the sponsors. This is just things we need to keep the lights on. So first off, we do have a Patreon, and you can find that at www.patreon.com/AfroX. Any donation you can do would be absolutely wonderful, even if it's just $5 a month. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money. They don't want to spend money on more subscriptions. I get that, but let me tell you, even putting in $5 a month it is so worth it for the value that you get out of this channel. I mean, what channel would what channel would at the lowest tier already be putting your name in their end cards? Hey, what's up? We got a new viewer here, Matthew Aguilar, who says, "What's up, man? Hope you're having a great night. Looking awesome." Thank you so much, Matthew. Hey, stick around. Let me know what you think about Matthew. What do you think the D in people's names in One Piece means? I would like your insight on that. Anyways, moving forward, in the Patreon, I just want to give a shout out to our two patrons, Calvin C, and our legendary patron, that is Trix the Anime Hater. So thankful to both of you for donating. Going into some of our social media stuff, we have Facebook. I know a lot of you youngins, since I'm 30 years old, I can say youngins now. I know a lot of you youngins don't really use Facebook that much anymore, but we do have a Facebook page called AfroX. We also have a group called the Official AfroX Fan Club, and if you join that, you'll be added to a chat group where you will be able to see whenever my schedule changes, or you'll be able to really talk to and contact me there. We also have a Discord that's called the AfroX AMA. There's a link to that in the description of all of my edited videos. We have a Twitter has died. It is now officially called X. So we do have an AfroX account. That's weird to say, but we do have an AfroX account. It is at the real AfroX. I need to stop saying X, anyways. Brain. We do have a Snapchat, and that is also at the real AfroX. Or no, we don't have a Snapchat. We have Instagram. Instagram is at the real AfroX. But I believe Instagram is now called Threads, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we will be getting a Snapchat here at some point. That's pretty much all of the social medias to cover. Matthew Aguilar here, starting us off, says, I'll go with the basic theory that D is basically a sign for someone who's basically trouble to the universe. So you're going with the base theory that D is literally just a label slapped onto troublemakers. That's a good theory. So, well, I mean, let's jump into it. Let's discuss it. So, Matthew is going with the theory that D is a label, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just tagged on to people who are likely to be dangerous to the world. That's an interesting thought. I mean, it definitely makes sense in the sense of Portgas D. Ace, just because he was the son of the Pirate King. But I mean, there are people who have the D in their names that have never been known to be troublemakers. But that's a very viable theory. One of my big theories, just trying to get a theory that ties everything together, is so we know that many people who have the D in their names are related. For example, Goldie Roger and Portgas D. Ace. So we do know that the D is somewhat passed down through generations and lineages. We of course have a biggest group of that, which is Monkey D. Garp, Monkey D. Dragon, and Monkey D. Luffy. All of them with the D letter in their name. And now we do know that based on recent manga chapters, we do know that there is the Alabasta D trio of Nefertari D Lily, Nefertari D Cobra, and Nefertari D Vivi. So the Nefertaris are have the D letter in their name. Here Matthew says, maybe more an aspect of a person who has the potential to create that kind of damage, like the relation aspect, meaning all those D people have a destructive gene in them that can be brought out. That's a good thought. And maybe that's part of it being passed down. Here's kind of where I was going, was that I definitely feel like what the Will of D, or not the Will of D, what the people named D being in little families and stuff looks like is that it looks like probably back 900 years ago in the Void Century, that somebody just started putting that in their name, and that all of these families, all of these the Nefertaris, the um, goals, really, because um, if Roger had given Ace his last name instead of his mother's last name, he would be Goldie Ace. So the Nefertaris, the Goal, and the monkeys. I feel like those are three families, and I feel like it's kind of starting to make a tree that looks like cousins. And it kind of makes me feel like these different groups are cousins, and that there's like a there's like a top D member, and that this part of their name was just passed down through generations. And I mean, that doesn't really explain what the D itself means. But I feel like that's a good structure to start off from. And with what you were saying, Matthew, what it could be is just that, yeah, it did start as, hey, this person is very powerful. They have certain aspects in their lineage, or they have certain aspects in their like body type, or they're different physically or something. We need to have a label for them, and then that name was taken for like the good guys and passed down as like a hey, as kind of like a hey, don't mess with me label. Like I mean, that just could be it. Is that back in the day, somebody had the D in their name, and then the letter D kind of just got passed down through the generations because of what it represented, because it represents somebody that you don't want to mess with, that is going to, we only get one of these, fuck you up. And yeah, maybe it was put into people's names as a warning. And so that's kind of going along with the theory that D doesn't really mean anything, and that it has a more symbolic meaning, kind of like Superman's S. The S on his chest really means hope, and it comes from like an actual word in Kryptonian. But yeah, maybe that's it. Is just that. Maybe D just stands for don't mess with me. Matthew here says possibly a warning to others rather than themselves. I agree. I yeah, that does make sense. Pushing that theory aside here. As for what the letter could actually mean, one theory that, or a few things theories that I've heard is that the D stands for devil. It could stand for devil, and that's where devil fruits started getting their name. Pretty much in the Egghead Island arc, Dr. Vegapunk was talking about how devil fruits are born from dreams and desires. So the D could stand for dreams or desires. He says, I've heard danger, but that sounds a little too basic. It does sound pretty basic. But I mean, let's look at all the characters that have the D in their name. One that kind of stands out to me is Don Quixote D. Doflamingo. Um, I really think Oda just wanted Doflamingo to have the D in his name, so his initials would be DDD, Triple D. But yeah. What I will say is interesting is that the reason, so it was said that the reason that Blackbeard could have two devil fruits is because something was different in his physiology, which honestly, if we're talking about generations and lineage and stuff like that, it could be that possibly that Blackbeard is the next step in human evolution, that or that Blackbeard is a mutation, or his body is a mutation, to like make people able to take on two devil fruits. But we definitely see that Blackbeard is from a different race than like Luffy and the other, no better way to say this, white people. But yeah. So dreams, desires, one theory of what the D means that I've kind of rested on is D could stand for Deva. And why I think that's plausible is that in Japanese mythology, the Devas were so in Samsara, in the Wheel of Rebirth, pretty much in the 6 paths that you can take after you die, one of them is becoming a Deva, the Deva path, and the Devas are pretty much the gods, the good gods, but they are also extremely prideful, which leads to really bad karma. But the Devas are always at war with the Ashuras, the demons, and I'm wondering if One Piece is kind of gonna flip the idea of it, because the celestial dragons believe that they are the gods, and maybe the twist or the flip is gonna be that the clan, or the D clan, is truly the gods of the world, and the celestial dragons are more like the demons of the world. I mean, when the girls say transform into their Zoan fruits, what is it? Sabo actually says, "I can't believe that hell is this high up in the world." Hey, so really quick, Matthew says, "Gotta run off right now. Nice discussion, my friend. I subscribe, is hoping to see more content from you." Thank you so much, Matthew. We got Cryo Prime in the house. What is up, Cryo? We are, and we got Trix here. Got to give a shout out to Trix. Nice to see both of you. So we're having a discussion here, kind of a brainstorm of what the D in people's names in One Piece means. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think? What are some good theories for what the D in people's names could mean? So pretty much what we've already talked about was that at a basis, I think we should go off of a model that the D is a generational thing, because we have groups of families with a D in their name. We have the Nefertaris, we have the Gulls, Goldie Roger, and what Ace would have been called, a Goldie Ace. And we also have the monkeys in Monkey D. Garp, Monkey D. Dragon, and Monkey D. Luffy. And then we have just little different smatterings. Don Quixote D. Doflamingo. Blackbeard is Edward D. Teach, I believe. Edward D. Teach. Whitebeard was Edward D. Newgate. What I'm trying to think of, and if somebody can really tell me this, are there any characters in One Piece with the letter D in their name that don't have a devil fruit? That would be interesting to find out. That may bring in some more insight. Trix here says it'd be nice if the D was a normal name. We also discussed that earlier on. That pretty much a good theory that Matthew kind of helped me reach was that possibly the D long ago in the Void Century, like 900 years ago, was attributed as a label to someone, because Emu does say it was the moniker used by our enemy that we used to fight against. And so maybe it is just an organization's letter to represent them, and that pretty much through the years it was given to their generations going down as kind of a warning to people of, hey, this person is going to actively fight against the world government, and they are going to be a danger and troublesome. Pretty much we figured that the D just meant don't mess with me. It was a warning for people to be careful around that person. D might just stand for don't. Just don't. But yeah, and I mean that kind of starts to make sense. Trixer says it's been proven that multiple families that share D. Yeah, I was kind of discussing that, and I was saying I think that they're all kind of cousins. Nefertari's, monkeys, the Gulls, that all the people who share the D in their name are cousins. So Crab Prime says, I'm not current with the series, but I always assumed the D was a family name and they were direct descendants to the celestial dragons, natural enemies. Does Garp Dragon? Oh, that is a good point, Cryo. You actually touched on it. So Monkey D. Garp has D in his name and is the oldest of the monkey family that we know of. And he does not have a devil fruit, which is interesting. And actually, even though we sort of know he has a devil fruit, it's never been confirmed in the storyline that Dragon has a devil fruit either, just because he's had such little screen time. But yeah, yeah, no, that is, you did touch on a good thing there, Cryo. I don't know about them being descended from the, descended from the celestial dragons, just because in the story it's pretty much been shown that anyone descended from the celestial dragons is pretty coddled, and that they are excuse me, that they are well, I mean, it's plausible. I mean, Nefertari D. Lily was the Queen of Alabasta back 900 years ago. And since she was one of the 20 reigning families, technically, all of her descendants would also be considered celestial dragons. And so really, the world is filled, the One Piece world is chock full of celestial dragons. If we're really being honest, I mean, crazy theory, but what if the D just means dragon? And I know that'd be weird in Monkey D. Dragon's name, but I mean, that's a plausible thought. What if the D means dragon, and it was pretty much put there to signify, hey, everybody who's a descendant of Nefertari D. Lily also has a claim to being a celestial dragon, and ultimately is a rightful heir to Marijois, even though she didn't want to be a part of it. So Trix is the only D family that would have been is Vivi's. Yeah, that does bring up a lot of stuff. I mean, Nefertari D. Vivi existing 900 years ago, there's a chance that her family could have branched off. And because I mean, if you look at Roronoa Zoro's background and family history, it's very complicated. There's Pinzoros and Shimotskis and a whole bunch of different names in there. Yeah, you do have a good point about Vivi's direct line being going straight into Vivi. Sorry, Lily's direct line going straight into Vivi. But I mean, in 900 years of people having kids and generations and stuff like that, anything could have happened, which also begs the question, how how distant from Nefertari D. Cobra is Nefertari D. Lily? Because I mean, in 900 years makes way more than 3 generations. I mean, if we're being honest. But yeah, so just looking at stuff, it looks like the ones that make the most sense, or the ones that we've kind of landed on here, are that D is a organization label, kind of like VFD in a series of unfortunate events. So D is an organization label that got passed down as a warning to not mess with people in that family. And maybe it just doesn't have a meaning. There is the theory that the D stands for dragon, to represent that everyone descended from Lily was a celestial dragon. But that's still kind of foggy. And I don't know how much salt I'd put into it, but I also think Deva is a good theory for that. So D, dragon, and Deva, although it could be absolutely anything. Hell, it could be Dangerfield for all we know. The D in One Piece could stand for Dangerfield, and it was all just a raucous joke by Oda, because you never know what Oda's gonna do. But yeah. So I'm gonna leave it a bit open here. Cryo, Trix, Matthew, if you're still here, I don't know, anyone watching. If you have any questions, either about the content we're talking about One Piece, or about me, go right ahead and ask, and I will do my best to answer. But yeah, in the meantime, a word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. No, just kidding. But no, please do sponsor me, Raid. I could really use it. Oh, in the meantime, I'll just talk about what anime and manga I watched and read this week. I think a fly almost flew into my mouth. That was gross. Anyways, um, so this week, read One Piece, watched Mirai Nikki: The Future Diary, watched Fire Force, and I started a new anime that I honestly probably should have talked about this week, and I now don't know why I didn't. But I started the anime Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, because it looks like it's getting really popular, and I kind of want to be up on the new anime trends. Um, so, Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. I watched the first episode and I absolutely loved it. I think it's a good look into the culture of NEETs and hikikomoris in Japan, shut-ins and people who don't really want to go outside. But it's also a look into the definitely real exploitative companies in Japan that what is it? That they really are just working their workers to the bone. And um, I know based on what I've read and what I've seen and stuff like that, that the conditions in Zom 100 are so true. Doing repeated all-nighters at companies is super common. Um, and Japanese men are they're very pushed down, and they're scared to speak up for themselves, um, unless they're in a high enough position to do so. Um, but yeah, I did feel kind of bad that his love interest um, turned into a zombie, and I know that's a spoiler. It's only a spoiler for episode 1, so um, but I do understand that it was kind of needed to push the story forward, and I do really hope that he finds some more actual humans to communicate with. Love the art style. I love that instead of red, they kind of did a Danganronpa, but not Danganronpa thing, where they made the blood be rainbow colored. Um, but yeah, I thought that was very cool, and I hope somebody does an edit one day of Zom 100 with actual red blood. That would be interesting to see. So, Trix here says he watched Bungo Stray Dogs. Have heard of that, never watched it. I will check it out. Says Zom 100, or Cryo Prime here says Zom 100 is awesome. Zom 100 is, in fact, awesome. And Cryo Prime says, watch Bleach, Zom 100, and new Rurouni Kenshin. There's a new Rurouni Kenshin. I should check that out, especially because I loved all of his fighting moves in Jump Force. For all of you who remember Jump Force, yeah, that was kind of a sad note in anime history. Jump Force was such a good game, and it got canceled way too early, just because the company wasn't bringing in enough money with it, and that's really sad. And I hope someday they make a new anime fighter. That would be really great. So, pretty much what the schedule is looking like for the next couple of weeks. I'm thinking the next video I do is, well, so this, just a little bit of a look into my life. This weekend, I am doing a DJ gig. My main job is I'm a DJ Blackjack, and this weekend I'm doing a DJ gig. And so I think I'm just gonna put it out there. Next Tuesday, likely not gonna be an edited video. just because this weekend I'm going to be super, 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 super busy, and will not have the time to put that together. But next Tuesday, if I can find a guest for it, next Tuesday is going to be the final episode of season 3 of Anime Legends, episode 20. And kind of depending on what feedback I get, next week may be the final episode of Anime Legends. I would really like to get a big crowd in here, but we're just not getting the live stream numbers that I really would have liked. I mean, this is great. Having 3 people in here and 2 people in the chat and stuff is awesome because the content keeps rolling. But there's been so many weeks that I come in here and I talk about a subject and I'm just kind of talking to myself, and that is kind of hard to do. But we're gonna see if a lot of people want to see more of Anime Legends, then I will work on that. Also, I mean, my biggest goal with Anime Legends is I don't want to be talking about the same stuff. I don't want to go back to old topics because repeated things get boring. Anyways, here's our sponsors. No, just kidding. But yeah, if I'm doing more Anime Legends, I want it to be about brand new topics, just so I can stay interested, other people can stay interested, stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much next week. Next week is gonna be the open stream, since it's a 10th stream. So it's gonna be an open stream. Anyone can join in on that one. But I'm gonna try to see if we can get a guest as well. So videos coming up. Probably gonna want to do an AMV soon, and after that, I'm probably gonna be doing a voice acting thing. Thinking about doing all of either Sanji's or Luffy's attacks voice acted. Maybe Luffy just because of all the hype around it. But yeah, that would be interesting. And then probably beginning of the next month, I'm going to be looking at doing Crap Guide to Dressrosa. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. Cryo Prime here says, yeah, there's a manga accurate redo of the series. Love that. Manga accurate is so good, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Trick says, welcome to new content. All right. But yeah, I definitely want to encourage everyone. Please, 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 please be sharing my stuff. Be inviting people when you're in the live stream. Be sharing it on your social medias. Try to get more people to come in here. Like if we could get even a 50 person live stream, I know people like Rock and Robbie are at like, what is it, 11,000 subscribers, and so they get like 600 people in their live streams. But if we could even get like a 30 person live stream, I would be over the moon. I would be overjoyed. I would be losing my mind more than Luffy loses his mind in Gear 5th. But yeah, that would be really, really cool. But yeah, that's all I got for you tonight. This was a good discussion we had, and if any of those things come true, you will be here to see me brag about it on Afro X. Sorry about that. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers. Don't fight the fro, and always remember to stay legendary. See you later, YouTube. Bye-bye.